The moment your spiritual awakening begins, conflict rises in ways you cannot explain. Your higher consciousness expands, your sensitivity sharpens, and suddenly the world feels louder, heavier, more reactive. It is confusing because you expect peace, yet instead you get friction. But this is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that you are shifting into a version of yourself that can no longer fit into the old patterns that once shaped your life. The first thing that changes is your awareness. You begin to see through people more clearly. You notice things you used to overlook. You pick up on intentions behind words, energy behind actions, and meaning behind silence. This new clarity makes interactions feel different. You no longer respond automatically. You think before you speak. You feel before you react. And this alone can make others uncomfortable, because you are no longer predictable in the way you used to be. When people around you sense this shift, they react. Some pull closer, wanting to learn from your calmness. Others pull away, feeling exposed by your presence. A few might challenge you, argue with you, or question your changes. But what they are actually reacting to is your growth. Your spiritual awakening disrupts the roles they once assigned you. You are no longer the version of you that tolerated their habits, comforted their ego, or carried their emotional weight. And losing access to the old you triggers resistance. Your energy becomes more grounded, and with that grounding comes a new kind of confidence. You no longer allow the same excuses or accept the same draining behaviors. You set boundaries you never had before. You say no where you used to say yes. This shift can create tension because people often mistake your growth for rebellion. They think you are being difficult, distant, or cold. But the truth is simple. You are becoming aligned with yourself, and alignment always exposes what was never stable to begin with. Then comes the surprising part. Even the smallest changes in your habits trigger big reactions. When you protect your peace, some take it personally. When you focus on your inner growth, some feel left behind. When you stop participating in toxic cycles, some accuse you of changing too much. But this conflict is not a punishment. It is the universe rearranging your environment to match your new consciousness. As your awareness expands, your life must expand with it. And with this expansion comes emotional honesty. You can no longer pretend things are fine when they are not. You can no longer stay where your soul feels unwelcome. You can no longer silence your intuition just to maintain old connections. This honesty creates friction, but it also creates freedom. Once you see the truth, you cannot return to the blindness that kept you stuck. That clarity is the root of most conflict after awakening. You stop betraying yourself to keep the peace, and this changes everything. You also begin to feel the difference between real connection and forced connection. Conversations that once felt normal suddenly feel shallow. Environments that once felt comfortable now feel heavy. You start seeing who energizes you and who drains you. You recognize who values you and who uses you. This awareness leads you to distance yourself, and distance is often misunderstood as rejection. People who benefited from your old patterns struggle to accept your new boundaries. But with every conflict, something powerful happens inside you. You realize you are no longer driven by approval. You are no longer shaped by expectations. You are no longer trapped in roles that limit your identity. You are becoming intentional, strong, clear, and the conflicts you face become lessons rather than problems. Some conflicts teach you what to walk away from. Some teach you who you can trust. Some teach you how strong you have become. The transformation continues as your inner world grows quieter. You stop trying to prove your worth. You stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stop fighting battles that drain your energy. This calm strength can confuse people who are used to your old reactions. They might push harder, expecting you to respond the way you once did, but you no longer play by those old rules. Then comes the breakthrough moment. You realize that conflict increases, not because you are doing something wrong, but because you are shedding the layers of your life that were never meant to stay. The pressure you feel is growth. The friction you feel is transition. The chaos you feel is your old life dissolving, so your new one can be built. And once you understand this, the conflict stops feeling personal. You see it as part of your evolution. Eventually, the external conflict begins to fade because your internal clarity becomes unshakable. You no longer get pulled into every argument. You no longer absorb every emotion around you. You no longer fear losing people who were never aligned with your future. You move differently. You speak differently. You choose differently. Your life starts matching your higher consciousness instead of your old identity. And this is the true power of spiritual awakening. Conflict rises because you rise. The world reacts to your transformation, but your inner strength grows louder than any outer noise. You stop fighting for peace and start becoming peace. You stop chasing validation and start living in alignment. You step into the life that was meant for the awakened version of you, not the version you outgrew. If this connected with you, thank you for watching until the end. Like and subscribe.